In a move that marks a sharp shift in the American foreign policy, the U.S. President Donald Trump has lifted the economic sanctions on Syria. This marks a new era for the country. In the forefront of it all is the new president. This is a bet that some call risky because he's a former militant leader and now given a place in the global stage. What would the future of Syria look like? We tell you more.
President Donald Trump has lifted most U.S. sanctions on Syria, in a move that signals the White House's full embrace of a new power in Damascus. The executive order, signed on Monday, unwinds decades of isolation against the Syrian state and marks a stunning turn in American policy towards a country scarred by 15 years of civil war. At the center of this shift is a new face, President Ahmed Al-Sharaa. Once a rebel leader, al-Shara led the fight to oust Bashar al-Assad, a dictator who ruled with an iron fist and left millions displaced. Now, al-Shara, with past links to al-Qaeda, is being courted by Washington as a partner for peace. His elevation sparks deep concerns among Western officials, but President Trump has taken a different track. After meeting al-Shara in Riyadh in May, Trump called him young, tough, and a man who deserves a chance.
Likewise in Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president's move fulfills a promise that, in her words, shocked the world.
And this is, again, an action that the president promised and shocked the world with in Saudi Arabia, because he's committed to supporting a Syria that is stable, unified, and at peace with itself and its neighbors.
Sanctions will remain against Assad, now in exile in Russia, and against those linked to war crimes, drug trafficking, and terrorism. But this is far from a blank check. Trump's Syria envoy, Thomas J. Barrack Jr., said the U.S. will not dictate Syria's system of governance, but warned that the door could close if terrorism returns. The order also directs Secretary of State Marco Rubio to review the Caesar Act, a 2019 law imposing sanctions on Syria over human rights abuses. A repeal is now on the table. On the ground, the impact is already being felt. According to the UNHCR, over 2 million people have returned to their areas of origin, a total that includes 1.5 million internally displaced people and about 600,000 from Lebanon, Turkey, and Jordan.
I left Syria in 2015 and lived for 10 years in Turkey, in Mersin City. Syria has been liberated. We returned to our country like any expat who would return to their country. Their country should come first, of course. We settled our affairs, brought our work to an end, and we are heading towards a new job, God willing.
The UN says many returns are not driven by hope, but by growing pressure in host countries. In Europe, where nearly 1 million Syrians found refuge, few are returning, though countries like Denmark have begun revoking protections, claiming some areas of Syria are now safe. But the question many are asking is this: can a post-war Syria really be rebuilt by a man who once had links with al-Qaeda? Trump's bet is yes, and the stakes are global. A stable Syria could reduce migration flows, undercut Iranian influence, open lucrative markets for reconstruction, and, in Trump's view, put an end to a long, costly chapter for the United States. But critics see a dangerous precedent, a rush to legitimize a wartime actor without guarantees on democracy or human rights. In Damascus, the celebration has already begun. Syria's new foreign minister called the executive order a historic turning point, claiming it clears the path for rebuilding trade and global recognition. But peace and trust are harder to sanction into existence. As flags are raised and borders open, Syria's future remains uncertain.